Hey everyone, welcome to the Abarcast. I am your host Brian Abarca, and we have a special guest today, my girl Lexi. Now, Lexi, I know you, but for the people that don't know you, followers, friends, etc., who's Lexi?
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Lexi. There's a lot of different shades to me, but overall, I am a personal trainer. It's something that I love. It's something that I'm passionate about. Along with that, big on mental health, something that I'm really trying to advocate for more so people can kind of understand what the world's like with that aspect. So, big on mental health, big on personal training, bubbly personality, just, kind of want to just enjoy life and still learning how to be an adult as well.
That's great. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29.
Yeah.
So what, the big 30 coming up?
Yes. I'm excited for it, though. I really am.
I hear, at least for us guys, I don't know about girls, but like for us guys, the big 30 is like the last like big birthday, and after that, next thing you know, it's
for
a blink
some
and that's
people, maybe, but I'm honestly very excited for my 30s.
Yeah?
I don't know who said the 20s were where it's at, but
You have plans already?
I'm trying to plan a nice vacation, week-long vacation.
When is it? When's the quinceañera?
Well, December.
Oh, you got time.
So yeah, I got plenty of time to save, but I'm excited.
That's dope. Yeah. So you're about to turn 30. Mm-hmm. We spoke a little bit before our podcast just to get to know each other a little bit, and you told me that you were training for about 4 years. Is that correct?
Yep, 4 years.
Now, like, where did you train? How did you start? Why don't we go into depth with that?
Okay, so I dropped out of college.
Okay.
That was the first step. When I was 24, almost 25, I dropped out. I had gone to 2 different colleges. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I really wasn't sure. I just knew I really wanted to help people and to give back. So college was not it for me. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. That's what you're told, but it really wasn't. So I dropped out and then kind of had that awkward in between where I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's how everything kind of, fell into my lap and like, oh, fitness is where it's at. This is what I want to do. And it just started from there. So, about 4 years. I started very, very small in the beginning. Like, it was really strugglesome. Like, it was difficult. Very small classes, just reaching out to anybody I knew, reaching out through Instagram, because thankfully, that had just started to get popular. Yeah. I didn't have too many followers, but I did work in the service industry. So, you meet a lot of people
right.
If you are a server. So whoever I knew, I would just be like, hey, I'm getting into personal training. I'm doing a training session this day, small group, come meet me. And I would just do that to basically every woman that I was in contact with. And out of those women that I would reach out to, maybe like 3 or 4 people would come to each class. And that's just how it started. So I obviously couldn't support myself in the beginning as a personal trainer. It takes time for that. So while I was serving at restaurants, I was, picking up classes and learning how to have that high energy and leadership.
Nice. What made you drop out of college? Like, what was your epiphany? Was there a moment? Was there a thing where you were just kind of like, you know what, books and pencils and crayons is not my thing anymore? Like, what was...
College was never my thing. Honestly, I knew from the beginning, since high school, that I didn't want to go to college.
Okay. So you were just kind of like trying to follow like the traditional route.
Exactly. I was just trying to follow the traditional mainstream that says, when you graduate, go to college, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't know what I want to do, but this is what I'm being told to do. So I'm going to do that. So I went to beauty school, and then I went to Bergen Community College, and I went to Ramapo. And after, building up all that debt, I was like, okay, now I'm pretty sure that I still don't want to do this. And I was just wasting my time, honestly. So
curiosity, what was your major?
Okay, so I had worked with the elderly for years, specifically Alzheimer's. So my thing was gerontology. So I want to major in gerontology, which is the study of, older people, the elderly. Okay. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. I know a lot of people didn't really know what that was.
Okay.
So there was that, and it wasn't really going anywhere for me, I guess, at least with the schooling and everything. So I realized I wanted to help people in another way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, with the different gyms that you've been working for, you told me a little bit that you started freelancing, doing group classes in the beginning. For the people that are looking to become a personal trainer, before we get into more of your history of your employment, what advice would you give the people that want to start becoming a personal trainer and don't know where to start?
Okay, I would say for me, this took me a long time to learn and accept, and I just accepted it, is that you do need another job as a foundation. And that's just my personal opinion. Some people will be like, hey, just throw yourself completely into the fire. For some people that worked, and I did that for probably like a year and a half, and it was just chaotic for me. It was beautiful because sometimes I had so much success, but then there was times when the clients were just not coming in and the hustle was just exhausting. So for me, it would have been more beneficial for me in the beginning if I still had that stable foundation while still building up my clientele. I kind of just like jumped into it though, because I went from serving, COVID happened. So I switched over after that just to personal training. It was cool for a little while, but that's when the struggle started coming. And it was just this last year that I finally got like a job that was like hourly. And for me, that's what I need, because as we'll get into, my mental health does play a huge toll on who I am and where I'm at, and that can mean that sometimes I'm not able to be in that mindset where I'm like hustling hard, right. And I need that backbone to kind of have that stability. So that's just what I figured out works for me. So that's my suggestion, is to have a back plan, have that back plan to fall back on, have that stable job, and then still build up your clientele, promote yourself. Instagram obviously is huge. TikTok also, I'm trying to get into that.
Right.
But promoting myself has helped tremendously.
Yeah, I think now with the eruption of Instagram and TikTok especially, it's a bit more easier to kind of promote, oh, hey, I'm a personal trainer now, and you're going to get contacts like that. How I started was I had an associate's degree. I freelance as well, but I was doing that very, very, very part-time. And I signed up to a commercial gym, and that was like a blessing in disguise. So, I mean, the people out there, you have two routes here. I went the more commercial route. I signed up to a gym, and my boss and the salespeople would actually close clients for the trainer. So you didn't really have to like do any selling. Yeah. You would still have to go through selling training sessions, learn how to sell, learn how to do business, etc. Learn the analytics and the business side. However, you would just be fed clients. Mm-hmm. And with that, you network. Yeah. You know the clients of the friends of the friends of the families of the uncles and the cousin. And then from there, you end up training them. And then you just it's a web. You just network, and then get to the point where you could kind of step away, leave the gym in a professional sense, obviously. And then, contact those people. And there you go. You have your following, Shout out to the gym that you work for right now. I know a few people that work there or train there. What's that gym called?
Different Breed Sports Academy.
Different Breed. Shout out to you guys. If you guys are watching. If you guys are watching. Hopefully. Shout out to you guys. Now, what's your specialty in that gym? You said you train hourly?
Yeah, so
right?
I do the one-on-one personal training hourly, but I also do group classes. So that to me actually is how obviously, like I was saying, that's how I got my personal training started, is by doing small group classes. But thankfully, it's been a blessing that, through Different Breed Sports Academy, I've been able to grow that and network and meet different people. So I would say group training is definitely my forte and something that I really enjoy, because it allows me to show my personality, that bubbliness, that discipline, that leadership, and it really allows me to shine. So I love doing group training, but like I said, I also do the one-on-one, which is great because then I get that intimate connection with my clients and I get to know them for who they are and specialize everything for them.
Do you have, it sounds how you're speaking about group training, you prefer group training? What's your preference?
Yeah, right now I think it's group training.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, it varies, but right now it's definitely group training.
What's in your mind? What's the differences? What's the pros and cons of group training and one-on-one? In your position where you do both
as a trainer.
Yeah.
So for group training, it's a different energy. It's just. So I'm a big believer in like vibes and positive energy, and I feel like when you have multiple people in one space, and they're all those endorphins are being released, and they're in a great positive mindset, and they're enjoying themselves, and there's that excitement and that encouragement also of knowing that, okay, this person next to me is struggling just like I am. Like, I'm not the only one, because sometimes people will come into it and they'll be nervous, and I'm like, I understand why you're nervous, but there's really no need to be, because you're not the only one that's going through this. There's a lot of people that are new or that started from the beginning just like you, and they've been able to make progress through consistency. And so usually what I like to do is I'll pair them up, especially if there's someone new. I'll be like, okay, this is going to be your partner for this circuit. So that way they have that camaraderie, they have that person to support them in case I have to be on the other end. Then they'll have that person next to them. So I like the group training for that. It's just that team building. And I think that's so important to build that community and have that comfort and that support.
How big are your group classes?
Right now, I've had around 14 people in my class.
Just one class?
Usually 11 to 14, yeah.
Wow, that's great.
When I first started, I only had, like I said, 3 people. And I started my class from scratch at different breeds. So it's been really nice to watch the growth and have, same people come back or new people come back, and just to like I said, watch that grow has been really nice.
And they opened up what? It was less than 5 years ago, right? Or
they literally opened up like right when the pandemic hit. Yeah. And then they opened back up, and it's been
now,
great.
Since you're a big pusher of group classes, I've been seeing that you've been promoting your your group class coming up, specifically the BYOB class.
Yes,
do you want to go into detail with that?
Absolutely. So BYOB, if you guys haven't seen, I've been advertising for that. It's Build Your Own Booty. If you follow me, or if you don't, you can go back and look at my photos. I've been working out for a while, even before I started personal training, and my body was always it was always changing. But one thing for me is I didn't have that booty growth that I wanted. And so I really put a lot of work in over these last couple years to get that booty. And I've seen a lot of growth in my methods, and I've got a lot of, women reaching out to me or just complimenting me like, wow, you've had a lot of booty growth. How did you do it? And so once again, the community and also helping women feel confident and good about themselves. About themselves, especially since, with social media, a lot of women nowadays don't have, let's say, natural bodies. And I've dealt with women that will see that and say, how do I get that? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you can't get that because they bought that. And
what's your position in that? Do you support it? Do you not support it?
I struggle with that, but I'm not a big fan.
You're not a big fan?
I'm not a big fan.
Why?
Because it just, from my experience, I've worked very hard to get where I'm at. And that the fact that there's other women that can literally look exactly like me after surgery from getting a BBL. And that's deceiving, number one, because I feel like a lot of people don't even talk about the fact that it's not real.
Right.
And two, it's just like I put in so much hard work, years of hard work and discipline to get to this point. And women are thinking it's easier than that. Right. And that also warps the mindset. So I'm honestly not really for it. But I understand that some people don't want to put in all that work.
Right. I mean, like they save up or they get a bunch of unemployment checks and then they're like, boom, I can get my body.
Yeah.
But, I'm just going to say this. I support BBL. Go ahead, do your body. Mm. But the issue that I have a problem with is the women that do the BBL and then promote booty training, personal training, and do it the natural way and like that grinds my gears. That annoys
absolutely
me.
agree with that. That I
annoys
agree
me.
with. So I can get with that.
Right.
I guess that's my biggest pet peeve. I can't hate on people if they want to pay for it, they want to pay for it. But it's when they get it done and then they're not going to be open about the fact that they got it done.
Right.
That really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like I've caught like scars. And I'm just like, yo, I thought it was natural. And then, you know, they'll just turn red.
Yeah. As long as they're open and honest, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate the open and honesty. And that they want to keep it up. Because that's a whole other thing. Even if you get it done, you still got to keep it up. You still got to
Oh, yeah, of course.
go to the gym.
Like the doctor will say, hey, you need to hit the gym. You need to work out. You can't, you know, fuck up the X amount of work that I did. But, you know, just when you start promoting your booty programs and then having your name on little bands and mini bands and, hey, you know, like, I got my booty by doing this. It's no.
It's like, no, you didn't.
That's cap. All right. So transitioning from that, what made you become a personal trainer?
Okay, so
what's your origin story?
When I dropped out, like I said, I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I knew that I always loved fitness. I started working out when I was probably I was in high school when I started working out. I did not know anything. I just knew I got into the gym and I was like, oh, I love this environment. This is really cool for me. I thoroughly enjoy it, but I didn't know else. Like, I didn't know what to do. So I worked out on and off. I was not consistent. When I was around maybe like 20, 21, I really got into it like heavy, but I still didn't know what to do. I would just go into the gym. I went to Planet Fitness. You know, it was affordable. So I went to Planet Fitness and I would just look at all the women. I'm like, what are they doing? I have no idea. I was so confused, but I didn't want to ask anybody because I just felt like really uncomfortable with that. So I just kind of figured it out on my own, doing research or just trial and error. And that's when I started kind of to like fuel the fire with that growing interest. And
did you ever think of getting a personal trainer at the time?
No. I literally didn't think about it until like I dropped out of college. I did not think about it at all.
Have you ever had a personal trainer?
No, I actually never did.
Okay.
No. Not until I started getting into it, when I started like associating with a personal trainer that I had gotten to know at the time. I don't speak to her anymore, but she definitely was a catapult in me getting started for it.
Nice.
But before that, I had no like connection with personal trainers at all.
Wow. Okay. Nice. And from there, you had, you know, your struggles around that time, correct?
Yeah.
Now, can you explain what type of struggles? I know you're a mental health advocate. Can you kind of just like tackle and go into detail with those type of things that you went through?
Yeah. So, for those who have seen what I talk about, I'm pretty open on Instagram about the mental struggles that I've been through. You know, I've dealt with also eating disorders. I've dealt with substance abuse. Like, I've went through a lot. So there was a time period, probably like for 2.5 years, I got rid of all alcohol, all drugs, like nothing, because I was abusing it because my mental health was just, I was in such a bad place. Like, it was uncontrollable. And so like most people that are in a really dark place that haven't overcome trauma or aren't taking care of themselves mentally, I, you know, found ways through drinking and drugs to push those thoughts away. So once I got clear of all that, that's when personal training became a foundation for me. And that's when I really started to get into it and make it consistent. And that's when it became a part of my life. So I would say probably around like 22 years old is when I really dived into it, because I had to find a way to work through my mental illnesses and to overcome those struggles. And the gym did that for me.
And you know, from the notes and from what you told me that you seeked help during those times as well.
Yes.
Did that actually help?
Yeah, absolutely. Tremendously. I mean, right now I'm actually in therapy again. I think everybody should go to therapy. I openly talk about it because it just, when I'm stuck in my own head, or if I go to friends or my boyfriend, like, getting their opinion is great, but like, I need an unbiased professional opinion, someone that knows exactly what I'm going through, so I can feel like, okay, they've dealt with this, they know what this is like. I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm a little crazy, but I'm not too crazy. And like, there's a way to overcome it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've been in and out of therapy for years, different phases of my life. They serve different purposes, and it has helped so much.
It's tough when you start asking, your bestie or your boy about, hey, what should I do with Rebecca? And they're like, you know what? Fuck Rebecca. Rebecca's a bitch. Da, da, da.
Exactly.
And you can't even get a straight up answer that's not biased. I've never done therapy before. I don't know, I'd be open to like trying it, but I mean, I'm just one of those type of people that I need to just figure it out myself, and I don't know if that's a bad thing.
So you don't be talking about your thoughts; you just keep them inside.
I talk to myself. You know
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
So like, it's in a positive mindset. Like, it's gotten me this far. You know what I mean? And then I think I've been in very dark places, but I think mentally I was able to just kind of overcome, by myself. I mean, even when I dealt with deaths with, my dad, heartbreak, etc. You know what I mean? It's just kind of get over it. I'll cry about it, whatever. I'll think about things, whatever. But
as long as you feel your feelings, you cry a little bit.
Yeah,
Just cry
I'm not gonna like keep it in, but I'll do it in my private times. You
That's
know what
good.
I mean?
That works.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Not many people can really be that vulnerable, especially on a podcast live, about being in situations like that and recovering. So, hats off to you.
I'm a little sweaty talking about it, but
No,
yeah.
it's all right.
I do feel it's very important for people to know.
It should be. It should be. And you know what, Lexi, I don't want to push. Just say no. It's okay. Yeah. But I'm just curious, like, maybe a person out there, a person here live, Josh, Shari, Lax, followers over here. If they were in a similar situation or the same exact situation that you were in, are you okay with maybe talking about what you were trying to overcome? Or at least maybe a little.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how too specific, but I will go into, like, I guess, a little bit of the timeline.
Yeah.
I won't do like too specific, but I do want to offer a timeline because I know that some people would be scared to ask or would be scared to talk about it. And especially it's like, because I am a personal trainer and because I'm very different than who I was then. So that's why I don't mind so much talking about it. But I know I mentioned I was extremely religious, so I'll start with that. I'm not going to go into heavy detail about that, but I was raised extremely religious up until I was 17 years old. So that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. I was basically sheltered. That's all I knew. So it's very extreme things that I had to stick to growing up. And during that time period, I held on to so much trauma. Even though I was going through therapy, there was a lot of trauma that I had been through that I wasn't talking about. And at that time, religion helped me, but it still wasn't addressing the specific issues that I had dealt with. So this whole situation happened and I got kicked out of my religion when I was 17 years old. So everything that I knew was like taken away from me. And I was so lost. And at that time when I needed support and love from family and friends the most, I didn't have it. And so I turned to what was offered to me, which was drugs and alcohol. And I immediately started hanging out with the wrong people that didn't care about me. They had no interest in helping me. They just wanted to use me. And I ran with that crowd for a good amount of time. And I abused drugs and alcohol. And so that made my mental illness worse. That made the trauma that I had been through so much worse. It temporarily might have helped me for that moment, but it just destroyed me long term. And so that's when I had to make the decision to, get rid of it for as long as I needed to. At that time, I thought it's forever because I really didn't foresee a better version of myself. Like, I couldn't foresee the person I am today. I didn't think. I'm proud of who I am today. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I didn't think I could get to this healthy point of where I'm at. So that's where, I got kicked out of the religion. I hung out with the bad people. I got clean. And then that's where the gym came into play.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, a community just kind of kicking someone out like that. Yeah, but I mean, that's motivation for you guys. If anyone feels that way, you could kind of follow in your footsteps.
Or ask questions.
Or even DM
out.
her, slide into the DMs and ask. Maybe she, you guys will need some inspiration. I want to run a quote by you. Mm-hmm. And I want to pick your brain on it. I want to know if you agree, if you don't agree. But the other day I said, motivation is a mood and discipline is a mindset. That being said, how do you make sure you're consistent and disciplined with good habits in your lifestyle?
Okay, so I'm not always consistent with this, so I'm not going to lie. And recently, I finally, this last month, I've been getting back into a better routine. I felt more of myself, but I fall off like anybody else. I'm not perfect at all. And so I just, that's where the discipline comes into play. Even if I'm not feeling motivated, I have to do it because I know that I'm going to feel so much better in the long run. I'm going to feel better after I work out or after I eat this healthy meal or after I stretch. And so certain routines that I'll put into play are just moving my body. So stretching, focusing on breathing, short meditations. I have the habit, though, of not being as consistent as I'd like to be.
Consistent in what way? Like working out, eating well?
Working out is fine for me right now.
Okay.
I love working out. Last month, I did not, though. It changed. I did not want to work out at all last month, so I just moved my body in whatever way I could. So if I was at home, I would just do low-intensity workouts, or I'd just do some stretching moves, mindful breathing, or I drag my butt to the gym and just do something light that's easy where I can just focus on movements and don't have to focus on too much else. But I don't always feel motivated. I don't, not at all. Now I do.
So would you agree with the quote? Yeah. Motivation is the mood and discipline is the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that 100%. Because you can still apply discipline even if you don't really feel like it.
Right.
But you can not have motivation and then still have that discipline.
I heard the statement that motivation was bad. And then I came up with the statement. I was like, I really, really just brainstormed and I thought about it. And I was like, motivation is a mood because sometimes you wake up,
mm-hmm.
You could be happy, you could be sad, you could be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And moods change. You know what I'm saying? But if you have the discipline, there's days, we're trainers. I'm a trainer. Sometimes I wake up on my days off. Last thing I want to do is hit the gym. Mm-hmm. I just want to scratch my ass and I want to just watch TV, watch a movie, whatever. Mm-hmm. But just like brushing my teeth, every day. And there's a reason for that. Hygiene, gum disease. I don't want to have bad breath in front of women, etc. You want to be going to the gym to look good, health benefits, etc. Mm-hmm. So again, it's the discipline that you need to try to apply that because it is for your health. You know what I'm saying?
But I also think it's okay if you don't want to necessarily do anything and you just want to chill sometimes. You just want to lay in bed. I think that's okay. You don't have to be super, super intense, So I make sure my clients know hey, yeah, stick to this structure and this routine, but you could still just chill out. You don't have to do anything crazy all the time. That's not reality. I want it to be long-lasting lifestyle. And for some people, just being extremely strict all the time, it doesn't work for them. So right. It all depends on your personality.
Now I just want to pick brain. Yeah. Why and what's your limit? If if I gave person X the green light, hey, just chill, you don't have to work out, etc., they might take advantage just to be devil's advocate and then just be lazy for the next 3 weeks.
Right. Well, that's where you have to read your clients. Everyone's different.
Right.
And so if I feel like they're that type that's going to take advantage, like I'm going to be even more on top of them. And I'm going to be like, hey, this is the structure you're going to have. Basically, like, I'm not going to trust them right away. Like that's real talk. I'm not going to trust them. But I'm going to be like, hey, you can do this. Like, I'm still going to like be checking in on you, you know, and doesn't mean you can go crazy. Like, take this rest day, take 2 rest days, but I still want you to be active, you know, like walk around. Like I said, move your body in some way. If you're not going to be able to, like, say you're going on vacation. I don't think vacation's a valid reason not to work out. I'm one of those people. I think you could still do something, you know, bring some resistance bands.
You're right.
Just do body weight stuff. Keep up with it, because if you take too long of a rest, obviously, you know, it's like you're resetting yourself.
Yeah.
You can't take too long.
Listen, I'm not going to cap. When I was younger, when I would go on vacation, I would go on vacation. I've been training for 10 years, if you guys didn't know.
That's a long time.
I've been training for 10 years. So the first 5 years, 6 years, I would go on vacation about 3 or 4 times a year, and I would just take a week, not work out at all. I wouldn't even hit the gym. I will black out, drink, eat like a fat ass, etc. And I wouldn't work out. But now that I'm older, it's kind of like, you know, my body changed. You know, like I need to maintain, because if I have a beard now, I'm gonna look like a whale.
Hit you a little bit harder.
I'm gonna look like a whale at the beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be bloated as fuck. You know. But you were speaking about trust, and let's get into spicy shit, Lexi.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Is it easy holding a relationship being a female trainer?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know it's a good question. This is a good podcast.
Catching me off guard. I love it. So I love my boyfriend so much. Shout out. We've been through a lot.
Shout out to the boyfriend. What's his name? Shane. Shout out to you. Shane, wherever you are.
He's been at the start of my journey, and
how long you guys been together?
Like almost 5 years.
Oh, okay. So
4.5, 5 years.
He actually,
on and off,
so
but,
he
you know,
he's known you
for a while
prior to your training career.
He known me since I started it.
Okay.
When I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Gotcha.
He always brings it up. He's like, "Remember that time? Like you said, oh, I'm just gonna kind of go with the flow and just be a server right now, and I don't want." And he was like, "That sounded terrible." And I was like, "I know that was a terrible response, but at that time, I really didn't know. I didn't know what to do."
So he's a lucky man. He's got you in your prime, your best fitness level, best image, best mindset.
Yes.
Shout out to Shane.
Yeah, shout out to Shane. He's great. So he's been there, and I do think it was a little bit of an adjustment for both of us. Just because obviously, you know, working in the fitness industry, it's a very aggressive.
Aggressive in what way?
I think depending on where you're at, you know what I mean? Like, I do work at another facility. It's an all-women's gym. That one is more chill, less aggressive atmosphere. But for me, I work at different breed, and it's a very aggressive atmosphere. It's, you know, a lot of high intensity, you know, energy going on there. There's also people that are boxing in there. You know, we're well known for boxing in there. And so it's like, I'm just used to like high energy, and like, when I'm around an environment, like I really get caught up in that environment, you know? So it's like at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I'm obsessed with the gym sometimes I'm really lax, and then sometimes I'm like really obsessed with it. And that's all like I think about. So in the beginning, I think that was a little bit of a difficulty to switch, because it was a big change going from the serving industry then to personal training. You know, it's a lifestyle change, and it's a big lifestyle change when you're going to do it 100% completely, especially if your partner is not a personal trainer. Like, he likes to work out, you know, and I've been able to like instill certain healthy habits, but obviously it's, like I said, it's very different unless you're a personal trainer. So it was a little bit difficult, I think, in the beginning to have that change and to adapt, but now he's phenomenal. Like, he is phenomenal. He's my biggest support. He's always there, you know, recording my videos as I do my booty classes.
Right.
He's there holding me down, helping me out, and encouraging me.
Nice. Let me ask this another way, because we kind of went off topic and then went on. Has your boyfriend, or maybe let's go personal, has your boyfriend understood the dynamics of being a personal trainer and working at a gym. The dynamics being like, yes, there's two genders. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, at the gym, there's a lot of testosterone.
Yes.
And it could be commercial gym. It could be different breed. It could be my gym, whatever. There's a lot of testosterone there. And sometimes I'm sure, and I've witnessed this, you know, at my gym personally, at my previous gyms personally, where, you know, there's men that will say something inappropriate or kind of flirt with you or do this or do that, knowing that whether you're single, whether you're not, they don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Right. So
all the time.
So let me ask you this. So again, just agreeing with that, did he ever have an issue or understands the dynamic of actually being a personal trainer? Because it's complete, and I'm trying to learn by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's different between, you know, a male trainer and a female trainer.
Yeah.
Female trainer, you gotta be millie rocking all these flirts, you know, away from you. Mm-hmm. And as a guy, you know, let's be real. Like, we'll take it. Maybe we'll flirt back. Maybe we'll kind of be like, oh, you know, you're cute. That's cool. High five, and then just carry on. But you know, as females, you guys have to like kind of like maneuver away from it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like did he have any issues? Did he understand the dynamic, etc.?
So, like I said in the beginning, I think it was a big adjustment for me as well. So I also didn't know how to communicate things properly.
Okay.
So I think he didn't really understand it at first, but I also know I didn't help the situation as much because I was getting so into it. And, you know, it's just like when you're around all those people, you're just used to acting a certain way, carrying yourself a certain way. And I think from his perspective, he thought like, oh, she's kind of like full of herself now. But it's like, I guess I didn't carry myself properly, but it was also a hard transition for me as well. So it was a little difficult in the beginning. I didn't want to say he didn't trust me, but he was a little bit questioning of like, who is this girl? Like, she's kind of changing a little too much. Who's she around? I don't know like what kind of atmosphere she's in right now, but her personality is changing. I don't know if I like it. You know what I mean? So that's where communication is so important. Like now I over communicate things like crazy. I'll over communicate.
I've never been in those shoes. I've never dated a personal trainer, but I could imagine. I'm not gonna say I can't imagine. I can't imagine what he felt like. Like if I was in those shoes, and I'm sure there's other men that could, you know, that can agree or maybe disagree. But you know, being in his shoes, you might think, all right, you know, my girl, now she has a popping body. Now she's great. Now all of a sudden she's extra confident. Now she's acting like her shit ain't stink. You know, now she's at a gym, and then on top of that, she's with attractive men. You know, on top of that, she's with you know, men that could fight, box, etc. Like, you know, it's not. It doesn't have to be jealousy. It could be territorial, or it could be, you know, now all of a sudden shit, like I got to get my shit together.
But I think it's natural because I think if it was reversed and I didn't really have much experience in gyms or personal training, I would feel the same way. You know?
Exactly the same way?
Since it's new. I don't know if I would feel exactly the same way, but since I already had experience like with personal training. So later on, like we did have a time apart.
Okay.
And during that time apart, he ended up becoming a personal trainer.
Okay. So
he had worked with women, just lots of women. So when we first started dating again, he was training a whole bunch of women and some attractive women. And for me, I didn't feel insecure about that. It did not bother me because I already was in that position myself. So it didn't bother me because I knew what it was like to be a personal trainer, and I trusted him, and I knew that it was business. I knew that he carried himself professionally, even if the women were to flirt with him or hit on him, which I knew. I just knew that he carried himself properly.
Was that at the same gym or a different gym?
No, he worked at a different gym.
Okay.
Yeah, he worked at a different gym. But
have you ever had like an issue?
No.
No? Not at all?
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, I don't get bothered. That didn't bother me. Just because, like, I don't know. Like I said, I had that experience, and I knew it was for work. Now, in the very beginning, like when we first started dating, and like I was a little bit more insecure, and if he had started personal training then, I'm sure it would have been completely different, completely different.
Right.
But I felt confident in myself and the work I was doing as a trainer, so I didn't feel like, oh, like all these girls, they look bad as fuck, or like this and that. Like, I didn't feel that insecurity because I felt confident in myself,
So do you think it's an insecurity issue? And now we don't have to be talking about your relationship too much unless you want to, but I want to take your take into it because it's interesting, and I wasn't expecting this answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that you just told me that you had no issues with him.
Yeah.
Him training a lot of women,
Mm-hmm.
even attractive women, even women that were flirting with him.
Mm-hmm.
You had no issue because you felt confident.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's an insecurity issue then? Like roles reversed. I'm a trainer. I have a girlfriend. She's completely jealous with all the clients that I train. You know what I mean? Like, is it an insecurity issue?
I
Is
think
it not?
it's very normal, honestly. I think if you're dating someone that's not a personal trainer, that person is going to either feel just not even insecure, but they're going to feel either insecure, they're going to feel uncomfortable, they don't know the environment you're in, and they don't know who you're around. So that's in question. And it's also about how much you communicate. Like I said, I'm a firm believer, over communicate everything. That way there's no question, there's no doubt. So if you have a relationship and that personal trainer is like, yo, don't worry, I'm about to go train this chick, you're not telling any information. It's like, I've never heard about this girl. Who's it? Give.
But let me answer. Does she need a part queue of this woman?
No,
Does she
but
need,
I also
like,
think that there's that
medical
communication.
info?
So like, he's just not disappearing and just doing his own thing and not giving out any information, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to know, like, I'm going to the gym, and yeah, you're going to know there might be attractive people there, but you're also going to know, like, I'm your person, and that, like, you don't have to worry about that. So that's where people might struggle, is that, like, communicating certain things. And there's also boundaries. So it's like, yeah, what do I say? I don't want to say too much because you're not obligated to say everything, but I also don't think you should be withholding every information.
Because there's that HIPAA.
Yeah, the HIPAA laws. Yeah.
You could make that excuse. Yeah, anyway, so that's actually pretty good. I'll make that a clip. All right, so all right, I want to pick your brain, okay? But because I kind of wanted to get into this, hole, but since you were in a relationship, I can't really. But since I'm with a female trainer who understands the dynamic, I've been the victim of relationships ending because of my job.
Okay.
And it wasn't a job. It was, they need to understand, and a lot of people need to understand that personal training sometimes, not most, but sometimes is a career. Like in my case,
Yes.
I've been doing this for 10 years. A personal trainer who's just been doing it for a year and just fucks his clients, that's just a job. That's like a seasonal job. You're working at Costco for the summer. You don't give a fuck if you get caught fucking in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
There's people like that.
Exactly. But since personal training for me is a career, they needed to understand that I take my job very, very seriously.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get your perspective. They didn't really understand the extreme long hours. And I'm talking about multiple ex-girlfriends.
Yes.
The extreme long. I'm talking about I had to wake up at 4 a.m., be at the gym at 5 a.m.
I mean, I don't wake up that early, but I've heard of that.
But you know it. You lived it. I'm sure with your coworkers, etc. And you witnessed it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen, a trainer zombieing it for 17 hours.
Yeah.
That's been me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like those type of guys, especially like me, who work those 17-hour days, get home and has his girlfriend waiting for him, and she's kind of like, yo, give me attention. I'm just like, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, it's been a 17-hour day. I didn't even eat. Let me eat.
Yep.
Let me scratch my ass real quick. You know what I'm saying? I want to watch
That's
TV.
very important. That part's very important.
Yo, scratch your ass is very important after a long day. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, I'm not going to lie. Like, it's been a downfall, for multiple relationships in the past because I'm a personal trainer.
It's a special person, though. And that's the other thing. No matter how much you can communicate, it just takes a particular person.
So then
that's what it is.
So then communication does
Might
not really
help.
does not really
It doesn't
solve
always
the problem.
help. No. I think if that person's open and willing, but if that person just really doesn't understand and they're not able to, because maybe it's not even like maybe they're trying to, but some people just aren't capable of putting that to the side. You know what I mean? And that just means that they weren't for you.
Right.
That's my personal thought. That just might not be the person. It takes a special person to be with a personal trainer. Just like, okay, let's say like these famous actors, right? Like they're only going to be with people that are on their same level, because people that might be too below them aren't going to understand that they got to make out with all these other, famous people, that they're going to be gone for long periods of time. Like, it just, going into a new relationship, that individual has to understand that the hours are going to be different. Like for me, it's like, okay, yeah, let's say I was gone for 10 hours and then there's also different gaps in between. So maybe I'll come home for 2 hours. That's something that I used to do. I'll be gone for the morning, come home for a couple hours, and then I'd go back and leave again. And it's inconsistent hours when you're personal training for sure, but it's also, you're doing your passion, so you don't see it as much because you enjoy it. We love what we do. So we're not noticing the crazy hours as much as like going to a 9 to 5, which is normal for people.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I appreciate the advice.
Hopefully it helps. Advice. I don't know. But I think it's different for women. I think women struggle with it a little bit more than a man would with the industry.
Why is that?
I think that, I don't want to be sexist, but I just
think
Lexi. Well, women get a little bit more possessive and a little bit more jealous, I think, or they're at least not able to hide it as much. I don't get, like I said, I don't really get like that.
You're the exception though, Lexi.
I'm the exception, apparently. No. I do get jealous, but when it comes to personal training specifically, I just think it's like, I don't know. I just think that girls are a little bit lacking understanding.
Listen, I've always gotten jabs from, my past relationships when I'm like recording my girls.
Or maybe you just haven't been communicating properly. I don't know. Maybe you're gone too long.
But then like, what would I communicate though?
Do you tell them like how long you're going to be gone for the day when you're training? Like, you got to make sure you're giving them some attention, because all women, we need attention.
No, you're right. You're right with that. But you know how the training life is. There's late cancellations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's no shows.
For sure.
There's this. So, and then, I'm not gonna hit up my girl. Hey, listen, my last 2 clients canceled. So I'm going to try to move my 7 p.m. to my 5 p.m. so I could move up.
I understand that always can't be the case. But you got to make sure that they get that time. Because, hey, for all I know, you're the problem. I don't know. Maybe you're the problem.
Maybe I am.
Maybe you don't give them enough attention when you're with them. And that could be an issue as well.
Yo, facts. I'm going to get destroyed on that clip. You're right. Maybe it is. Maybe I am the problem.
Maybe you just need someone that's more low maintenance.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? I'm high maintenance. I need attention. My boyfriend knows. But maybe you need someone that is more independent. More independent.
What qualities describe independency from the boyfriend? I'm trying to learn. I'm taking notes here, girl.
Are you looking for a girl right now?
Huh? No, I'm not. I'm focused on business. I'm focused on business.
Okay, this is
making
for future.
Money.
This is for the future.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right.
for the trainers out there, for the trainers out there.
What was the question?
What qualities
are considered independence?
What qualities describe independency from the boyfriend? Because again, like you just said that maybe I'm the issue and I'm trying to find someone who's less dependent from me.
Okay.
Someone who's more independent. So what qualities describe those person A?
Okay, so I can speak from my own experience.
Okay.
Is that I like just to have I want a life where I can do something with my partner where we are meshed together, but I also want a separate thing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go hang out with my girls. I'm going to go do this. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the diner by myself, because I had a little gap. I had a client that canceled, so I went. For me, that's my independence. Maybe I'll go out by myself for a little bit, or I just want alone time, right? Or I just want to go hang out with my girls. I want to go on a mini vacation for 2 nights with my girls. Like, I want to still have my own life. I feel that when you get into a relationship, you lose yourself. And I'm still learning the balance of that, because your relationship should be priority, but you should still know how to enjoy life on your own. So not feeling like, oh, I have to be around my partner all the time. Like, financially independent, I'm working on that. If you know me, you know financially it's a struggle. But I'm learning to be more financially independent.
Wait. So what do you mean? Is my boy Shane the sugar daddy?
No, he's not. But
what are you
he
talking about? You're playing my boy Shane.
No. He's honestly, he's really good with finances. So he's taught me how to save better. Because I came from a low income family. So my mom, you know, she raised 4 of us on her own, and she got money from the government because she was too ill to work. Right. And so then I had my dad on the other hand, who didn't really know how to save, and he just kind of like spent money. So I didn't really know how to learn how to save and properly like spend money at the same time, if that makes sense. So he has helped me to learn how to save. And I've been able to learn how to gain more like financial independence and understand myself, you know, get savings together. Because honestly, that was one of the hardest things for me, really. So yeah, learning financial independence, just having, you know, more freedom to, you know, hang out with my friends if I want to, but still having, you know, my relationship with my boyfriend and us doing things together. I don't know. I tend to ramble, so hopefully.
No.
You got a little something from that.
You're still on the same path. You're still on the same path. All right. I mean, that's what it is. Before we get into questions, because I have questions from my clients that, you know, I mentioned to them, hey, listen, we're gonna have two phenomenal trainers on my platform. Okay. And, you know, you're a booty specialist. They've called me the booty doctor for 10 years. Okay. So we're booty people.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to pick your brain about booties. All right. But before we do that, I kind of want to just acknowledge the people that are watching real quick. My boy Dan, Allison, shout out to you. I'm waving. Lebrando, Jason. My boy Jason was good. Rubia was good. Isabella was good. Brian, good. Lewis.
What is that wave? I've never used
Me
live.
neither.
I've never
Me
used
neither.
live. So what is that wave?
I'm just clicking
Are
shit.
you just waving at people? What is that?
I'm waving at people right now. I'm waving. Wave at your people.
Hey, I'm waving. Is
Is
this conjoined? Or no?
No, I don't think so.
Unless I tag you, right?
I don't know. I could tag you? I didn't even know I could tag you.
I don't
Can
know.
I tag you?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I don't know. Anita, shout out to you. Vet G, shout out to you. Love you guys. All right, cool. All right, so questions from my clients and your clients, Lexi. Question number 1. Real quick, what are your top 2 booty workouts?
Ooh,
top 2. If you had to choose
workout.
top 2.
I really love the cable machine. So donkey kicks with the cables.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
And you know, let's give some description and some info for the newbies.
Okay.
That are trying to get into the gym. How do you do donkey kicks? What do you do? Do you have straps? Do you not have straps?
Okay.
Like extended lock, etc.
Variations. One thing like with my outdoor booty class that I'm trying to promote is that you can basically you can work out anywhere with or without equipment. So donkey kicks, there's different variations. You know, there's the kneeling donkey kick, where you could just use a booty band, or if you have ankle weights. But for the cables, I really like the cables. You know, you still have that added weight that you can add on, and you could be. So I like the standing. That's what you're doing with the cable. You're standing.
Okay.
But you're slightly hinged.
Right.
So I like that more because for me, I get a greater range of motion as opposed to when I'm just, you know, on the ground kneeling and just kicking back. So I like that variation. Also, you have to move a little bit slower, have more control, and slow movement. So I'm always big on that. Like, don't be kicking back real quick. Don't be swinging around. No momentum. Slow, controlled movements.
So you don't want to look like Tina from Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
like
no.
Doing the twerking.
Absolutely not.
You don't want to look
that.
like Tina. That's my girl Tina, but
no.
you don't want to look like her.
None of that. Absolutely not. I love Tina. Love her. But no, absolutely not.
And what was your second one after the donkey kicks?
That's a good question, honestly. I think the classic, actually, no. Bulgarian split squats. I love them and I hate them because they hurt.
Yeah.
They really hurt, but they're so effective. And I'm a big fan of like the single leg workout because I feel like that's the way you can build the most strength when you're focusing on one leg at a time.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's why I choose both of those.
Okay. So top 2 is the donkey kickbacks with the cable standing up and the Bulgarian split squats.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
My two favorite is definitely the hip thrusts.
I was going to say that too. That's
I
a good one.
love the hip thrusts.
That's a good one.
Because, there's different variations, like I said, or like you said. But the hip thrust that I like, again, talking about form, you got your back across the bench or the platform, your shoulder blades across the back, your back or the platform. You could do a dumbbell or a bar on your hips.
Love with the barbells.
Yes, sir. And make sure your knees are at 90 degrees, your feet are completely planted, vertical, and your hip thrusting, you want to get into a tabletop position. Okay? And you want your hips to your shoulders, a straight line. You don't want to look like you're humping the air either. Okay? You want to finish off with the tabletop position. That's my top booty workout.
Okay.
My second one, and my clients are going to love me for this. I'm a crab walk guy. I love crab walks.
Really? Okay.
Crab walks, I'm telling you, it's basic, it's portable. You can do it anywhere. If little Billy or little Jimmy is going on vacation, and for a week and it's not going on vacation, he could just bring a band and he could just do crab walks all day. His legs are gonna look popping at the beach.
I believe it.
I
believe it.
So that's my top 2. Okay.
Okay.
Next question. What first inspired love for being in the gym? What keeps you dedicated and coming back? Want to help other people? ?
Okay.
I believe that's one of your clients, right?
Yeah. One of my clients had asked that. Okay. So first love for being in the gym. Like I said, I don't want to be too repetitive, but
No, repeat it just in case. Just in case. We have all the time in the world, girl.
all the time in the world. Damn.
Go ahead.
I don't know about that. But so like I said, when I was sober for 2 years, I had to figure out a way to take all that energy and all those thoughts also go into my brain and control it somehow. And the gym was my foundation. And that's when I started to fall in love with it. And it just made me feel so much better. It just really carried me through when I didn't know what else to do. When I was stressed, went to the gym. When I was sad, I went to the gym, that was my happy place. And that's where I felt so strong. And that's how I built my confidence. So that's when the love first started building. And then when I dropped out of college, I kept up with the gym. I kept doing my own personal research. I was at LA Fitness. And
You worked at LA Fitness?
No, I've actually never worked at a commercial gym.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
No LA Fitness for me. Sorry. But I was watching this trainer and she was not really feeling it. I could tell she was not really into it. And honestly, I was a little disappointed because I was watching her and she didn't look fit. 2, she just looked bored. Her face was blank. She looked so bored.
Isn't that a pet peeve?
It blew my mind.
I hate that shit.
It blew my mind.
It pisses me off.
Like, why do you look so bored?
And if it pisses me off and I'm your coworker or I'm a guest at the gym, I could only imagine the client. The client's like, I don't even want to be here right now. And this bitch has a fucking face.
And she doesn't want to be here. So what's the point?
Why are we here?
Yeah, why? But I saw that. I peeped that. And I was like, you know what? I could do that. I could literally do that. So I just started looking up, like, what could I do? How am I going to get certified? Reaching out to the one woman I was telling you about briefly. I forget how I got in contact with her. I think Instagram. Instagram, can be toxic in its own right, but
it's a dating app.
It's a dating app, but it's also a way to promote yourself. It's also a way to get in touch with people and to network, and that's what it's done for me. So I was able to link up with this woman. I forget how I found her on Instagram, but I did, and she kind of was my mentor. She taught me like, hey, this is how you're going to get certified. This is what you could do. If you have any questions, ask me. And that was the beginning of my journey, and that's how I really grew to fall in love with it. And I love personal training so much. I can't really see myself doing anything else except adding on other things to personal training.
Nice. All right. I mean, just for me to answer that real quick as well, just to move on, how I got into the gym, loving the fitness. Honestly, we have very similar stories. You know, I was going through a heartbreak, you know, senior year in high school, junior year in high school, around there. My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer. You know, at that age, we all thought he was going to die. And I was the person having to drive him to chemotherapy almost every week. So I was very, very depressed. I was in a dark hole, dark place. And one of my friends, he had a gym membership to LA Fitness, actually. And I was a guest with him to the gym. And I would be there 3 or 4 hours a day. I wasn't working at the time. And it was a stress reliever for me. It was therapeutic. Like, I didn't really care. I didn't want to gain weight. I didn't want to build muscle. For me, it was just therapy. I was sweating all the depression, anger that I had, and it was therapy for me, you know? And it's still therapy. Like, this was just the benefits. I was a skinny kid. I was 130 pounds. Now I'm a solid 185.
Nice.
Imagine me with my big ass head.
Yeah.
I look like straight up lollipop.
So the head was still big.
Yeah. The head was still big. I was a stick though.
Oh man.
Next question. That was a good question, by the way. Next question. More resistance band training videos. Benefits versus weights.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, like basically,
bands
like what are
versus
the
weights?
benefits of resistance bands versus weights?
Oh, okay.
Or just like, I guess getting into resistance bands as a whole, because I think I mentioned to you with previous conversation that I think resistance bands are amazing.
Yeah.
Weights are great. They're more fun. I will say that. Like, weights are a lot more fun, but over time, especially if you're going heavy, weights are damaging to your body. That's a lot of stress. Like, especially if you're not doing your proper form, which unfortunately, if you look around the gym, a lot of people are not doing proper form. They just want to go heavy. And that's going to add stress to your body over time. So it might look cool and it's a lot more fun. And I love lifting weights. I think it's so much fun. Resistance bands, though, are just great for your body. They're not damaging. They're not going to they're not going to hurt you in the long run. It's going to help you tone, build that lean muscle. Which for me, like, that's the point where I'm at right now. You can either do light weights or you can do resistance bands. But the benefit of resistance bands is that you can bring them anywhere. Yeah. Like, you can go on vacation, you can bring your booty band. You can bring them anywhere and still get a great workout in, whether it's 20-minute hit, whether it's a 30-minute hit. There's variety for upper body and for your lower body.
All right. For me to tackle this, bands versus weights. Now, it's okay to disagree.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to put that in the panel.
You can have whatever opinion you want.
I do not agree with weights being damaging to your joints. Now, like, yes, if you are doing it incorrectly, of course, obviously. But if you're doing it correctly, long term, there's new research out there that shows even little kids or even the elderly should have strength training. And obviously, if you're doing it correctly, that's great. Like, for example, my mother, she has arthritis, osteoporosis, osteopenia, and she would benefit to strength training. Weights. She needs weights. It would improve her bone. It will improve her joints. It'll add more. Jesus, what's the fucking fluid in the joints? Shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little lit. But it adds fluid into the joints, so yeah, I mean, I think it would be beneficial. Now, bands, I love bands because they're portable. Yeah, you can take them on vacation. God only knows, when I was in COVID and the bands and the weights were 300 pounds. Or 200 pounds and 100 pounds, and they were an arm and a leg, $1,000 on sale. Like, I couldn't even, I couldn't even buy that. So bands saved me and saved a decent physique, because I was a fat piece of shit during COVID as well. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying strength training isn't good, like, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, it's going too much weight, I think, is going to damage your body after a certain period of time. But I do believe in having
like what,
strength training.
Like what, hitting like personal records every week, like that?
I just think over a long period of time, like I don't know, maybe I'm not being descriptive enough. I just think that, yeah, if you're going super, super heavy with weights, I guess maybe like powerlifters, I guess I could say. Maybe that would be the extreme case. If you're powerlifting your whole life and you're going super, super heavy and you're trying to max out and you're doing that for a long period of time and you're not really switching to anything else, then that can be damaging.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think having both, like resistance bands and strength endurance, is very important.
I could see that. Like improper programming, not cycling off of, PR week or a heavy week or a power week and just kind of cycling off to lightweight or moderate weight. Yeah, I could see that, definitely. Next question. Benefits of a quick 15, 20-minute workout.
Oh, yeah, I'm big on this.
Oh, yeah?
Especially if my clients can't meet with me as regularly as I'd like, or, finances come into play. I totally understand. Gas is crazy. Money is tight, so I get if you can't meet as consistently as I would prefer, as you would prefer, or if time is short, 15, 20 minutes makes a huge difference. Don't tell me you don't have time. I hate that. Like, during COVID, all I did was like 20, 30-minute HIIT workouts. And I leaned out so much and I got so toned. So it's like, you don't have to do an hour workout. Just limit your break period. Work out for 20, 30 minutes, take little to no rest, and you're going to get that heart rate up. You're going to burn your fat. And you also save your time. Like, it doesn't have to be heavy weights. It doesn't have to be an hour workout. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half like some people do.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, by the way, the fluid in the joint, synovial fluid.
Oh, yes.
Synovial fluid. All right,
yeah.
guys, I didn't Google it. I didn't type it up. That shit was bothering me. It was going to bother me the rest of the day, so I actually had to think about it. All right, 15, 20-minute workouts. I'm just going to say it's better than nothing.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you don't like 15, 20-minute workouts?
It's better than nothing. Like if you're gonna be at the couch and chill and watch fucking Euphoria instead of working out, yeah, I'm gonna say, you know what, at least do 15, 20-minute workouts. But if I had a choice of 15, 20-minute workouts and let's say 1 hour workouts, I'm gonna choose 1 hour workouts, definitely. Of course,
but this is on to people that have time management or people that travel.
Right.
Quick.
Right. Listen, I've done half-hour sessions for 8 or 9 years. I stopped doing it the past year. It's just, the people that I understand, tight with money, etc. Yeah, financially, I get it. 1 hour sessions might be too expensive. Half-hour sessions, cut that shit in half. I get it. However, if someone's going to reach out to you and say, hey, listen, I can only afford 2 times a week, half-hour session. I've never worked out before. I'm sorry. I never worked out before, but I want to gain 20 pounds of muscle, male or female. You're going to need time with them.
Yes.
You're going to need time for trial and error. You're going to need time to, go over diets, go over working out, educational instruction for proper conventional lifts, functional lifts, etc. You need that time. You can't do that in 15, 20 minutes. Okay, so it depends, it's...
Well, I guess the 15, 20 minutes would apply more to people that are already consistent with me. Like one of my current clients, I train her 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And I'm like, listen, even if we're not together these days, I still want you to have at least 4 or 5 days of, workouts during the week. So when you're not with me, do your 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? If you struggle to come to the gym on the days that we're not training together, do it at home, 15, 20 minutes. And so we already have like a routine going.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
And they do it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's perfect. That's good. Next question. Slow progression of eating food step by step rather than 100% lifestyle change right away.
Yes. Okay. So as I had said previously about the whole read your clients, some are very, some need to have that strictness to them. And some people want that more, I'm not going to say lax, but that slow build up. For me, I want something that I personally can stick with. Clients that I have, they want something that they can stick with long term as well. Not something where it's like, okay, I'm cutting out everything for a month. I'm going to work out like religiously an hour and a half in the gym for 6 days a week. I'm not going to have carbs. I'm not going to have this and that. That's unrealistic for long term. That's a great way to shed fat quickly if you want to do like a special event or something. But I don't think that's going to work long term. It wouldn't work long term for me. And I know for some of my clients, especially that I've spoken to, it doesn't work long term for them as well. Everyone is different. So after you have that conversation with, and this is the benefit, obviously, of the one-on-one training versus the group training, because the group training, you can't really focus much on form. You can't focus on their needs. And so this is why I like the one-on-one personal training, because everything can be modified. Everything can be adjusted to whatever you specifically want. So one client of mine, it took her a little while to adjust her food. She was very consistent with the gym. But if the food was difficult, especially with, certain cultures, let's say rice, you know what I mean? Like, she loved her white rice. That was so hard for her to cut out. And there was a time period where she was really, really strict. And then she still couldn't get the rice out of that equation. You know what I mean? And then she was going through a time period of work. And she's like, listen, I'm really stressed. This is hard for me. I want to maintain right now. Okay, so we'll maintain. And then we got back into it. I'm like, okay, are you ready to make these changes now again? So she finally was able to cut out that white rice. We started seeing more progress. You know what I mean? Nice. Now the water. So it's really different for everybody. What worked for her is a little bit slower, but now she's keeping that routine. Right. Like, she doesn't touch white rice now. And some people, they're able, like I have another client, she cut out everything so quick. No dairy, no gluten. She juices, this and that. And for her, that works. She enjoys it. She loves it. Everybody is different. So I just kind of base it off of what they want. But if they want that slow build up to a lifestyle change and that helps them stick to it, then absolutely.
I like that. I completely agree with you. Definitely it's a habit change, and I'm a huge advocate on habit change diet. It's conscious. You want to be conscious about your diet. Why? So that you could change your bad habits into good habits. I stress this in my past episodes as well, and I stress this to all my clients. You mentioned before, people that are going to go on vacation, let's say next week. Yeah, if you cut sodium, cut carbs, you're going to look the rock popping next week. But guess what? Once you have that drink, once you have a solid meal with decent or high sodium, you're going to look pregnant again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to look great for one day, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. So what I always tell my clients, and, future trainers out there, you could always use this as a sales pitch, but it's not even a lie. It's the truth. I always tell them, listen, I don't give out diet plans. I give in person, one-on-one. I try to change your bad habits into good habits. So the first thing I always ask is, what are 3 things in your diet that you think is slowing you down? Okay. And then they end up realizing, I love dessert. I always treat myself after a long day at night with ice cream. Okay, great. Next one would be, I always drink my diet soda. Okay, great. That's 2. 3. I wake up late. I don't have breakfast. And my first meal of the day is around 3 p.m. after work, and then I binge eat. Common. Okay, great. Yeah. So that's the 3. Yeah. You're conscious about it. Okay, maybe subconsciously, but you're literally you know what you're doing. Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, fuck everything else. Fuck the macros for now. Fuck the counting of calories. Let's just focus on those 3 things. Yes. Let's focus on putting something in your body. First thing you wake up in the morning. When you wake up, have breakfast. That's 1. 2, instead of the diet soda, instead of diet drinks, okay, do you like the feeling of the bubbly in your mouth? Like, do you like the carbonation? Yes, I do. Okay, great. Club soda then. There's flavored club soda. There you go. It's clear. You can't see through Pepsi. No. You know what I'm saying? Or worst case scenario, you have water. There you go. Or you have I don't know, unsweetened vitamin water or whatever the hell.
There's modifications. Yeah, it might suck at first, but there's modifications. It might suck, but you're gonna end up liking it. It's better than water. Yeah. Okay, you sprinkle some electrolytes in there, or there's some electrolytes in there. You're gonna be hydrated. And the third, like the little meals. You know the little meals. Yeah, have some flavor into it.
Exactly. And then the third, I forgot what was the third. Shit, do you remember? I said soda.
Oh, waking up in the morning and not having breakfast.
Oh, I said that already.
That's the third.
Breakfast. No, I said that last. Oh, what was the first then? Huh?
Oh, the dessert.
Dessert. Okay,
The
dessert. Thanks, Joe. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Dessert. All right. So you love ice cream. Okay, great. Ma'am, sir, are you a sweet person or are you a salty person? Oh, I love sweets. Okay, great. Guess what is sweets? Fruits are sweet, right? Listen, if you're going to treat yourself after a long day, Mr. Accountant, Mr. Nurse, Mr. Whoever, I get it. It's a long day, 12 hours, whatever. You get home. Instead of ice cream, you could have fruit. And guess what fruit has? It has vitamins, minerals, etc. Like it's whole foods. It's natural instead of the ice cream. You know? And
They
there's
do have great
actually,
vegan ice cream, though.
okay, that's another option too. That's another option too. I love ice cream too.
My clients, I'm like, you
my
want
boy
some
Joe just
vegan
smiled.
ice cream?
So yeah, that's an option too. And then there's fruits that people that are on keto, very low carbs, have like raspberries,
Yep,
blueberries, cherries,
strawberries,
very,
yeah.
very, very low in sugar. So there are ways to treat yourself after work.
Yep.
So that's habit change. It's all about habit change for me. Next question. Having diabetes as a personal trainer, that's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah. Okay, so I was diagnosed with diabetes almost 5 years ago. And at that point, like, I was working out actively and I was eating very, very healthy. A lot of people think that, you know, type 1 diabetes, you get diagnosed when you're younger, and that's what I thought. And so it kind of just came out of left field. I was extremely healthy, and they're like, yo, lost 30 pounds. I thought it was because I wasn't eating. I was pescatarian, then I was vegetarian. So I thought it was because I wasn't getting enough nutrients. I wasn't getting enough protein. I lost 30 pounds in I don't know, like 6 months maybe. And for me, it's like I was so disgustingly skinny. I was 111 pounds. And then I figured out I had diabetes, and I was like, okay, well, that was a big change. So I still struggle with it now. I'm very hard-headed, so I have this sensor, which I know you were asking about earlier. For diabetes, you know, you prick your finger and you check the blood, but this allows me to scan it with the sensor. So since I am a personal trainer and I do have diabetes, my blood sugar is always fluctuating. I can't even tell you. Right? Yes, I'm always on the move because obviously it varies if you're sitting down or if you're standing up, what you eat. There's times, okay, so when I was bulking in the winter, I was having a lot more carbs. And even though it's healthy carbs, my body became more insulin resistant. Like my glucose, my sugar levels were high. And for me, it's like, so it's still trial and error. So just because like, oh, you look healthy, you look great, but inside I am sick. You know what I mean? I'm still sick. And so I have to learn that, yes, I might want to do certain things. I love high intensity, but honestly, it's not the best on my body because it adds stress to my body, and that stress on my body causes my blood glucose levels to go up. And for me, long term, that's damaging to my body because then you have bad circulation, you can have neuropathy, nerve damage. You can lose a limb as you get older. It's just like people don't realize how serious it is. And even though, yes, I'm healthy and yes, I'm a trainer, it still causes issues over time. Then you also have really low lows, which I've had lows before my classes. And it sucks because my clients know, they know I have diabetes, but it's like, hey guys, I can't start until 10 minutes because my blood sugar is freaking 63 and I have to make sure my blood sugar goes up or else I'm going to pass out. So it's a lot of, I just have to stay on top of it, honestly.
Question before we go into the next question, because I can't comment on this because I'm not
Right.
I don't have diabetes.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
personal trainer, but I don't have diabetes. Do you kind of like, do you push out, and this is almost like a business question as well, like you can promote that you're like a diabetes personal trainer. Do you like promote that you're a trainer that can handle diabetes? Do you have a lot of clients that have a lot of diabetes?
So I actually don't promote it, and I don't know.
You can specialize in that.
I know I can, and I haven't closed that door. That is something I think about long term, but for me, I can't take too much on my plate all at once because I get very overwhelmed. I get very frazzled, and I feel like diabetes and metabolism, it's not easy to learn about. It's not. And honestly, when I think about it, when I try diving into it, it's very overwhelming. But I know that's something that I need to go into more thoroughly for myself, especially. But then in the long run, be able to help clients with that. So that's where my nutrition also helps, because with diabetes and being diagnosed with that, I have become so much cleaner with my food. With that, I'm able to share, a little bit more, but it just gets a little bit harder with the way the blood glucose levels fluctuate a lot. But right now, I don't have any diabetic clients. I do have one diabetic person that has come into my group class before, but I don't really have much interaction with people personally online. I do follow a decent amount of diabetic trainers, and they're great. They're super on top of their stuff. So I definitely want to be at their level.
Like I don't want to
sound. There's a whole community.
Yeah.
There's a whole community that I didn't even realize.
You literally took the words out of my mouth.
Yes.
I didn't want to sound ignorant saying, "Oh my God,
No.
there's like I know there's trainers out there that
Yeah.
have diabetes." I didn't know there was a huge
Yeah, there is a community.
Wow, that's
Yep.
insane. That's great. That's
So
dope.
I'm still learning about
Good for
that.
you.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This is the last question before I close up. When to progress with workouts?
You give your opinion first.
Why you gotta put me on the spot? This is your client. All right. When to progress with workouts? Very simple. There's very different reasons why you should or when you should progress. For example, if you're in a program, a structured program, and your trainer is specifically telling you to play with a certain range of weights, and that weight is extremely easy after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it might be a good idea to mention that to your trainer or to talk to yourself about it and increase the weight. Or you can maintain that weight there and make it more challenging and increase the reps. Or maybe just to switch things up, if you're a person that gets bored, you might want to maybe actually just change the workout. So instead of hypothetically a dumbbell chest press, maybe you want to just transition into a barbell chest press and just kind of change the body like that and change the workout like that. But that's my thought. Quick, simple. What about you, Lex?
So yeah, usually, I try and stick to what I learned in the book. I don't remember. Honestly, I'm the person that constantly needs to just keep getting that same information over and over and over again. But when I do remember things, I really try and put it into play. So through NASM, I'm certified through NASM. And what they would say is after usually about 4 to 6 weeks, your body just kind of naturally will plateau and it'll adjust to what you're going through. So I usually kind of try and keep it at that month mark, 3 to 4 weeks. But that month, I kind of want to see where they're at. But during that whole month, I'm still checking in. So even that 1 hour session that we're doing, hey, how is this weight feeling? Is it getting a little bit easier? What rep are you feeling it? And if they're not really feeling it, then I'm okay, then we're going to add more weight on. But usually where I'll start to shift the workouts is at that 4 week mark. We'll kind of go over things again, okay, so now continuing with these goals that you have, now we're going to increase the weight. We're going to increase the reps. We're going to make it more high intensity. We're going to increase the sets. So that's one of the things that I started doing with my clients is instead of 3 sets, it's now 4 sets for a superset. You know what I mean? So, and they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's gonna overload those muscles a little bit more. It's gonna push you a little bit more. So that's one area where I'll increase. So like you said, the reps, the weight, the exercise, and the timing as well. I'm big on circuit training.
Yeah, the time of the rest.
Yeah,
15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60
exactly.
seconds.
Decrease that rest period, increase that working period. So a minute of work. Now I have my people doing a minute of work. They get 20 seconds of rest, and then they're doing another minute.
Yeah, I have clients that when I switch it up on them, they're like, "Yo, why you being an asshole today?" I'm like, "Yo, it's a change to the program. What you want me to do?"
Out of nowhere.
They're like, "Hey, man, you in some type of mood today?" I'm like, "Nah, it's not me." Yeah, no. Guys, it's at the end of the day, terminology is progressive overload. Okay, that's what it is. Closing question. I wanted to pick an intelligent brain. Recent studies show that 40% of women in the U.S. are obese. 40%. What's your take on that? True? Untrue? Acceptable? And lastly, the love yourself movement. Is it good or is it cap?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. Number one, I didn't know that 40% of women are obese. I didn't know that. So that's definitely intriguing in the U.S. I'd like to actually know that in comparison to men. But I don't know. I just think that honestly, it's not just with women. I can understand because we naturally have more fat on our bodies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
Especially when it's that time of the month. I be snacking. Sometimes.
Right. But the level of obesity is different between men and women. So we're just, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think 40%. I mean, if I'm comparing it to men, we don't really know that. But I think 40%. I mean, it's a large amount, but compared to the way the world is now, I feel like it also could be worse because the world is so unhealthy.
Do you believe it then? Could you see that?
I could see it.
Because I could see that.
I can see it, but like I said, I still think it could be worse. 40% is not great, but I still think it could be worse.
Like, think of the BBLs. It's not implants, it's fat.
But yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Women are more naturally fat. So yeah, I can, not like we're fat, but like we naturally have more fat on our bodies.
You guys hold more body fat to bear children. Okay?
Yeah, that's
the biology. That's the biology answer. All right, but 40% of women. It's not saying because you could insulate your child when you're pregnant, or you hold more fat because you're a female when you're more than 17% body fat. But I'm talking about like obese meaning your hips or your waist is over the 40 inches. Okay, obese meaning your body fat percentage is well over 38-40%. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
I mean, yeah, I believe it. But like I said, I don't think it's just women. I know you don't want to bring men into it, but I think.
People
as a whole.
Listen, I'm not attacking. I'm not.
No, I know, but I think people as a whole are just.
That was just the question,
more
guys.
obese than normal.
Yeah. Of course.
Nowadays,
of course.
I just think that's.
Listen, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there. Okay. What about the love? All right. Last question. The love yourself movement.
Yeah.
Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it?
I don't think anything's black and white. So I think, yes, you need to learn to love yourself more. I think we as humans, we tend to put ourselves down a lot. But I also think that now we get to this point where it's like we kind of use the I love myself movement as an excuse. And that bothers me a lot. So it's like, yeah, you love yourself, but doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. That doesn't mean you don't have to work out. That doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want. It just means that, you want to be your best version of yourself to be healthy. And that's different for everyone, yes. But do you want to just settle with where you're at and just not even take care of yourself and be like, but I love myself, so it's okay? I don't agree with that. Yeah. I agree that, yes, you want to love yourself, but like put some effort in. Don't just expect things to be and don't use it as an excuse.
My answer, this is a straight up answer. If you love yourself, you want to live longer. Mm-hmm. If you want to live longer, you cannot be obese the rest of your life. Okay, so at the end of the day, if you love yourself, take care of yourself. And if you're going to take care of yourself, hit the gym, lose some body fat percentage, and you're not going to be obese anymore. Simple answer. That's it. Love yourself. Yeah, you could love yourself mentally, but you shouldn't be loving yourself physically. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about jerking off or masturbating, but I'm talking about literally love yourself by hitting the gym, working out, losing fat percentage, staying fit, and keeping your cardiovascular fitness up. Mm-hmm. All right? Period. That's it. End the story. Lex, yes. I want to take a shot.
Woo.
And celebrate your success in the past 4 or 5 years as a personal trainer. I want to toast to your future successes as well, whatever you want to accomplish in the future, whether it's solo, at different breed, doing, another job, etc. Mm-hmm. It was a blast having you. What you think about the show?
It was good. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little nervous in the beginning. Obviously, there's a lot of lights and stuff. It's a little hot.
We're professional
and I do have anxiety sometimes. But no, I feel.
But we made you feel very at home, right?
I feel at home. I felt comfortable, and it was nice. It was a good experience.
Like, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Why don't you grab some shot glasses? We'll do half a shot.
half a shot. Let's do your little podcast.
Yeah, you like the Abarcast?
Those are cute.
Yeah, I love that. It's my favorite. All right.
And if anybody else is drinking right now, what time is it? It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's 3:04, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So join us. All right. Beautiful.
Salute, Lex, to your future successes. My boy Joe, to the Instagram Live. Love you all. Appreciate you guys.
Not too bad.
All right, guys.
All right.
Salute. It was a pleasure, guys. Make sure you follow Lex on Instagram. All your information is going to be tagged. Is there anything you want to say before we shut up?
No. It was a great experience to, get to interact with you, humbling also to learn new things and just learn about you, another personal trainer. So it was a great experience. I enjoyed it.
I appreciate it, Lex. Guys, I love you all. Make sure you check this out and have a good night.
All right. Bye.